In this video, we're going to be talking about choke escapes, and we're going to start very basic. So at the very beginning, what I want us to understand is that we need to pull up our shoulders and start crossing our hands to protect the neck on both sides, right? I don't know necessarily which side the choke is going to be coming in from. So as I feel somebody reaching for that choke or reaching for a headlock or trying to put me into a front choke, I want us to have that habit of bringing up our shoulders and protecting the neck. So if Instructor Jason's trying to choke me, for example, maybe he's reaching in there. That should be my first instinct, bringing up the shoulders and bringing up the hands, okay? Now, immediately after that, I need to start squaring up to him and driving my weight into him so that I can start undermining his balance and base and then begin to overwhelm with a counterattack. Okay, so as soon as possible, I'll be squaring up. These are very much the early counters in this next series. The early counters. We'll cover more advanced counters and late counters in a separate video. So let's start here. So he's coming in. I feel the choke coming on. I'm turtling up, squaring up, overwhelming, and striking. Let's try that again. I feel that. Oh. And striking. So immediately, I'm framing. Getting that hand up. If you happen to be coming in the other side, I'm still having the same reaction, except now I'm going to start squaring up on the side that I feel. Okay? Now, in the event that you can't go a particular direction for those early counters, don't overthink it. It's okay if you happen to turn into the arm or away from the arm. Okay? However, be mindful that if you go away from the arm, you could end up in another adaptation. So that rear choke may turn into a headlock choke. So let's get into the headlock part. This is early counter. So let's just start from the back for just a minute. Right? I feel him coming on, I turtle up, and I start moving in this way. Well, now he pulls me into the headlock. I need to be able to get posture, dropping my hips, keeping my structure from the tip of my head to the tail of my seat solid so that I can resist with good pressure through the entire body structure. If I happen to get bent over in bad structure, then all of the pressure goes to my neck and spine, right? Lower back and the neck. And you're going to be in a weak position to follow up, counter, and adapt. Okay, so it's very important. So if we just break down the headlock by itself for a moment, if Jason goes in for that headlock, I'm going to be looking to drop my base, bring up my shoulders. I'm already defending the neck here, and then I'm going to drive into him with palm strikes. Right? That's what I'm looking for an early counter. Let's come a little bit closer. We'll see it again. So he's going in for that headlock. Immediately, I'm dropping shoulders, good body structure, palm strikes, shoving away, or moving in deeper for another type of grappling counter. That can also happen. All right? If we come from this side, looks like this. He's from the side, I'm dropping, I'm already starting to protect the neck, and I'm going right into the face, shoving it away, and attacking with the counterattack to undermine his base, and so forth, all right? Now, where does this other come from? A common adaptation comes out of the bear hug. You'll see that in a slightly separate video, where maybe I bridge out, and then somebody turns into a headlock. So you need to get used to adapting your body in such a way that if a headlock is coming on out of a grapple position, where that it's coming in here, that immediately, this is my first response. Head skyward, hips down, driving in with the base, solid here. So often when you're trying to defend against the headlock, what will prevent you from doing it is when your head gets way over your base. And then you see people getting twisted and thrown on the floor, people getting mounted and struck, and this is terrible in a self-defense situation. It's terrible in any situation, but especially a survival self-defense situation where there's no natural referee, stoppage, anything like that, in case of, a knockout or anything else. So this becomes a huge deal, and a headlock is everywhere. These kind of chokes, these are just a natural thing that a lot of humans go to and gravitate towards. So we need to be very functional at dealing with it. So again, he's coming on, maybe we're in here, maybe I try to do this, and he starts ripping down for a headlock. Boom. If you get dropped here, look at his foot underneath, this one here. So as I start to posture, I'm going to drive that leg deep into his base. And did you see him lift up a little bit? Well, that's because I'm lunging into his position. So I'm using my whole body to defend this thing. I'm not just shoving with my arms or anything like that. I'm literally driving my whole base into his base from a very powerful angle. And what you find is even if you're the smaller person, the person that weighs less, if you use your whole body, you can start to undermine somebody's balance, especially from that angle. Okay, but the key, one more time, he's got the headlock coming on, is that I drop and I'm stepping deep with this. I'm not trying to do it from here and shove. All of that pressure is here. I'm shifting my base deep, I've got leg connection, and now I can start moving toward the face and attack. So for the final early counter against a different type of choke, this is just a standard, somebody's reaching out to choke here. Could be in like a seated position, like a car or something like that. It could be in here against a wall. It could be against, the back of the outside of a car, something like that. So environmental can certainly play a role here. But the point is you're already inside of this danger zone, the attack range, right? They can kick or punch you. You don't have time to react necessarily, like we would at a standard distance if we're trying to control distance. Right? We're already close for whatever reason. Maybe we've already tied up in some kind of fight and we're already wrestling. Maybe I was surprised, right? Getting into my vehicle and I'm turning around and somebody's reaching out to choke me. Maybe I got an altercation, as I mentioned, inside the car and we're seated. Okay, so there's a lot of applications that you can see for this move, but in any case, we're going to have the same standard response. Shoulders up and starting to defend. And then if I'm jammed here, I can simply release the pressure by twisting back and forth, okay? So as he's coming up, I'm defending, and now I can twist to relieve that pressure and move to elbow strikes and further palm strikes, okay? If I got shoved up against the wall here, right, I'm gonna be making my hands come up through the center so that I can start defending as he's going for that choke. And then again, same kind of thing. So I'm just getting used to turtling and bringing up the hands. I'm gonna show you this little detail real quick. Here's something not to do. Dropping your head down. When you crown your head like that and you have to resist, you will often have problems at your neck. You have poor structure, poor posture. So when we do that, I just basically want to bring my shoulders up here, keeping a flat chin. This is much stronger, okay? This is true for any of the early choke counters. And the reason being is because let's just say I couldn't get my hands up, right? I'm not even able to. He's already around me. It was a surprise. So go ahead and do that, Jason. Boom, right here. This is a much harder choke to get. But if I drop my chin, even though I've got my chin now closer to my chest, he can now twist my face and start to move in deeper for a choke. It's because I have a weak structure. So this is way better than this. Don't tuck your chin. And I know that may sound a little counterintuitive, but it is critical that you simply bring up your shoulders, maintain the structure from the tail to the top of your head, and turn. Okay, so even if I didn't get my hands up for the early counter, I can simply do that, and now I can get my hands up, right? Ideally, I have this reaction already built in. That would be ideal. Maybe I'm already blocking the hand or turning in and having those in play. But regardless, what's essential here is that I'm starting to turn. And I maintain good posture so that I limit what kind of counterattacks you can do to follow up afterward, okay? That structure plays a critical part all throughout grappling.